The first one that we're going to read today is on the Am I the A-hole subreddit, and it's called Am I the A-hole for leaving my wife without a discussion after I found out that she cheated? I know that I'm not an a-hole for leaving a relationship where my partner was unfaithful. That's normal, and I'd hope everybody respects themselves enough to get out of that situation. This is a touch more complicated. I fly in, fly out for work, and I'm currently working a contract in Africa. I work for 8 weeks and then I get 4 off, so basically I'm gone for 2 months and then I'm home for 1 month. I've been doing this kind of work for about 10 years now. I had a house, but I was never there, and it didn't make sense to rent it out since I wouldn't have a place to stay when I needed it, so I sold it. I stayed with my parents and I simplified my life to the point where besides my car and 1 set of formal clothes for weddings or funerals, I could carry everything I own in 1 piece of checked luggage in my carry-on. I met Louise 3 years ago, we hit it off and started dating. She seemed okay with my lifestyle and it was nice having somebody to come home to. We got married last summer and I found out this September that she was cheating on me. When I got home this time, I didn't bother leaving the airport. I checked into the hotel for the night and I left the next day for Vietnam. I rented a nice place there for my time off and I blocked it on everything. I also contacted a lawyer to start a divorce. A few people did get a hold of me to see what was going on since she didn't know where I was. I told them that we were getting divorced because she was cheating on me. It happens and I'm sad, but I'm not ashamed. I didn't screw up. We never mixed our finances. The only thing that sort of matters is that our apartment was in her name. We wanted to make sure that she could take care of everything while I was gone. All our bills were also in her name, not my credit cards or anything, just water, power, internet, and stuff like that. I would just give her money to pay the bills. It was good because then she had her salary to pay for herself on everything else that she wanted while I was gone. The thing is, she can't afford the apartment on her salary. I'm back in Africa and I won't be home again until after Christmas. I'm already planning on taking my parents to Europe over New Year, so I won't be bothering to fly back to California next time. I'll just have my company fly me to Italy instead. My ex doesn't have a lot of savings. She makes good money, but she likes nice stuff. I liked her having nice things, so I didn't mind subsidizing her life. Now she's stuck in a lease and her car note is going to eat up all of her paycheck. Some of our friends think that leaving her in that situation without talking to her isn't fair. That she only got the apartment because she was counting on my money for the budget. They all acknowledge that she is in the wrong for cheating, but they think I'm screwing her over too much by leaving her like I did. Cold turkey, so to speak. Do you guys think I owe her anything more? Am I the a-hole? Wow, that's so interesting. No, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, of course. Like every other cheating post that we read, it's a mess around and find out sort of situation. Like, oh, what's that? You don't like the consequences. Yeah, well, don't cheat. Mess around and find out 100%. The top comment says, yeah, you didn't leave her like you did. You responded to a decision that she made. It sounds like a mess around and find out situation to me, not the a-hole. The comment below that says her choices led to your reaction. She needs to face the consequences, not the a-hole. Yeah, when somebody betrays you, I don't feel like you owe them anything ever, really. And that's what happened here. OP got betrayed. There's a comment that says she made her bed, now she has to lie in it. And it's so true. But they think I'm screwing her over too much. I'm pretty sure she screwed you over, OP, as much as you can. Like, how could she screw you over any more than she did? Like what, you meant to help her financially after this as well? Cheating is a decision. I'm sure they knew what they were risking when they started cheating. And they still chose to do it anyway, so now they face the consequences. Like, what does protecting her from consequences do? Like, morally, I don't feel like you're the a-hole here, OP. You don't owe her anything. If she needs money, she can ask her affair partner. Legally, though, I don't really understand any of that sort of stuff. There are a lot of people saying that you should talk to a lawyer ASAP. I don't understand any of that sort of stuff. I don't know if you owe her anything. I don't know if cutting her off like this will get you in trouble in that regard. So yeah, I guess talk to a lawyer, I suppose. But no, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. Like, yeah, all of this is definitely going to be abrupt for her, but you're still the victim here, OP. She did this to you. She decided to ruin your relationship. You definitely don't owe her anything. Okay, post number 2. Am I the a-hole for calling off the wedding after my fiance gave his ex closure without telling me? I, 28 female, have been with my fiance Tom, 30 male, for 3 years. He and his ex Sarah were together for 6 years before we met, and she's been a shadow hanging over us the entire time. At first, I understood they shared a lot of history and breakups can be tough, but we are supposed to be each other's future. We're planning our wedding, building a life, and I thought that he was done with the past. A month ago, Tom got a random message from Sarah asking for closure. He didn't tell me about it, and instead of ignoring it or at least discussing it with me, he responded and met up with her. I found out when I saw a message on his phone that said, "Thank you for last night." My heart dropped, and when I confronted him, he swore nothing physical happened, saying that he stayed over until early morning just talking. Ew. I didn't believe him, and what's worse, he got defensive, calling me insecure for feeling betrayed. He said that Sarah deserves closure and that I should understand since he's with me now. The more we talked, the more I realized that he doesn't think he did anything wrong. I tried to explain how hurtful it was that he hid this, especially since he didn't need to, but he made me feel like I was the problem for being jealous of a friendship. But here's the kicker. Tom then had the audacity to tell me that this needed to happen so he could truly move on. Oh God. No. There's a reason that he didn't tell you about it, OP. He even suggested that Sarah should come to the wedding as a friend to show everybody there's no bad blood. Oh God. I'm gonna cry. I was stunned. How could he think it's appropriate to invite his ex to our wedding? Someone he apparently still feels the need to support. I've since called off the wedding, saying that I need to think, but my family and friends are split. Half say that I should be able to trust him if he says that nothing happened, and others think that I'm totally justified. Meanwhile, Tom's been telling her friends that I'm controlling and making a big deal out of nothing, and now I'm second guessing myself. Am I the a-hole for putting my foot down, or am I overreacting to something that was innocent? Yeah, okay, I don't like this at all. There's a reason, OP, that he didn't tell you that he was going to go see them. And also, what did he say? Saying that he stayed over until early morning just talking. So like, yeah, you do want to be able to trust that he's telling the truth, but he might not be. But that's kind of beside the point. You're not being insecure, OP. He knows that he should have told you about this, and that's why he's acting like this. Not the a-hole. His reaction says it all. It's not to defend and protect OP, it's to defend and protect Sarah. And how sad is that? The second top comment says, not the a-hole, you're the rebound. Yeah, right, maybe. You're so not in the wrong here, OP. You need to get out of there. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Okay, let's say that he didn't cheat. He still prioritized her feelings and emotional well-being over yours. He's not ready to prioritize you, and therefore not ready to marry you. Okay, let's say that you do get closure for him. Then he wasn't ready for a relationship, let alone marriage to anybody. This is not your person. I promise there's somebody out there. You may not find them for a while, but you're asking because you know this is a crap show waiting to happen. Trust your gut. Yeah, I don't feel like it even needs to be a conversation about whether or not he cheated. Like, it's so obvious here that he has more respect for his ex than what he does for OP. That alone is enough to get rid of him. Like that wedding post that we read the other day where the person wanted to bring their ex to the wedding to show that they did so much better than them. It's really similar to this. Like, your fiance Tom, OP, definitely is not over his ex. Of course you shouldn't get married. And for him to be like, oh, you're jealous of a friendship and you're insecure. Bro, say that you care more about your ex than your partner without actually saying it. That's all you're doing. And OP, if somebody's partner is doing something innocent, like you said at the end, am I overreacting to something innocent? If they were doing something innocent, they wouldn't try to hide it. And also, when you questioned it, they also definitely wouldn't get defensive. He knows he's wrong to do that without talking to you first, OP. Maybe he feels guilty, but maybe not. But yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. He's not over her. Yeah, and at the end of the day, you deserve better than that, OP. Like, let me think. Do I want to be with somebody who wants to be with me or still wants to be with their ex, Sarah? And also, what closure do they even need? Yeah, no, definitely don't like this. You're not the a-hole, OP. And you're the only person that really knows what to do here, OP. Like, you know deep down if you want to marry this person. Somebody can tell you that you should stay with them or whatever, but if you know that you definitely should not be staying with them, then you can't stay with them. Okay, the next one is on Today I Messed Up, and I've got a feeling it's a cute post. It's called Today I Messed Up by Turning My Cat into an iPad Kid. Recently my TV broke, so I decided that it'd be cool to replace it with a projector. A few days ago the projector arrived and I spent a few hours setting it up and playing around with it. Then I had the bright idea to put on one of those videos that are made for cats, the ones that have insects and lasers and mice, to see how my cat's gonna react. She loved it. Naturally, I let her watch it for about an hour before I turned it off for the night. She protested a little, nothing too serious though, at least not compared to what was coming. Over the next few days, I foolishly let her watch the projector a few more times, thinking it was hilarious how excited she was about her new toy. However, as time went on, she started to get a bit more vocal, growling and meowing at me to get my attention. I soon realized that it was because of the ads. She was throwing tantrums because she couldn't stand waiting. Now she complains whenever I turn it off, or if she gets interrupted, and bonus points, my YouTube now thinks I'm a cat. That is so funny. OP, your cat is taking over. Put my show back on the TV immediately. I want to see the insects and I want to see the lasers. What else did they say? Insects, lasers, and mice. That's so funny. I've put stuff on the TV for the cats before, and Jin like goes behind the TV because he thinks that it's behind the TV. It's so funny. Cats are so smart, but they're also like not smart. They're like smart little idiots. And he goes behind the TV and he's like, Meow? What's going on around here? I can hear a friend, but I can't seem to access them. That's so funny though that YouTube thinks that you're a cat. You keep getting like mice videos and like ads about cat food and stuff. Would you like some fancy feast? That's so funny. I've got another Today I Messed Up story. This one's called Today I Messed Up by Not Realizing That My Neighbors Have a Ring Doorbell. So the lady that lives next to us came by to thank me for giving them a giggle. The mail lady accidentally delivered a package for them to my house, and of course I was going to go drop it off. It's like a 30-step round trip. Well, I overthink everything. I set it on their porch in front of the gate that goes across their steps and went to walk away. And then I was like, oh, but I'm not sure if they're actually home right now, so what if they go to leave the house and then knock it down the stairs with the gate? That wouldn't be very fun, and I'd feel awful if whatever's in the box is broken. So I picked it up and I moved it to the other side of the gate, but then I realized it was getting dark and I didn't want them to open the gate and trip over it, so I picked it back up. I want to avoid bothering them, so coming back later when I see, or hear because she's a balky girl, the dog get let out, is absolutely out of the question. At this point, I'm holding the package and walking up to the porch and stepping back to try and gauge where the street light would hit their porch when it kicks on, and I eventually settle on a good spot and I half run home because thank goodness nobody's ever going to see this. Well, after seeing what my neighbor meant by that, she explained it was really funny to see me just basically walking in circles, especially if you speed the footage up a bit. She showed me the footage and I do in fact look like an idiot, but it is in fact kind of hilarious. At one point, it even kind of looks like I'm waltzing with the box. Editing to add a couple of things. First of all, I don't have the footage. My neighbor showed it to me on her phone. I didn't tell her not to post it anywhere, but my face also doesn't hide what I'm feeling, so I'm pretty sure she could see that I was uncomfortable with the whole thing. Second, due to pressure from random people in the comments, I've written her a note to see if she does plan to upload it anywhere. If she does end up posting it, I'll add a link to the post, but as for right now, I'm keeping my physical self off of Reddit, as I do enjoy the fact that nobody here knows what I look like. Yeah, like this comment says, hello fellow overthinker. Yeah, that was so funny and so wholesome. You were so worried about it, OP, like, oh no, what if this happens? What if it gets dark? What if they trip on it? What if it rolls down the stairs and it breaks? You're so considerate, OP. Okay, we're heading back to Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for refusing to pay for my friend's meal after she invited me out for dinner? So, my friend 29 female and I 28 male went out for dinner the other night. She invited me out to this nice place, which was cool because we hadn't hung out in a while and I was really looking forward to catching up. When we got there, she ordered way more food and drinks than I did. I kept it light since I'm trying to save money, so I only ordered a main course and water. At the end of the meal, the waiter brought back the check, and then my friend looked at me and asked if I'd cover this one. I was kind of thrown off, especially since she invited me out. I told her that I wasn't planning on paying for both of us, and I reminded her that she was the one who suggested dinner. She got really upset and said that she thought it was obvious that she meant I should pay because I make more money than her. I do, but it's not by a huge margin, and I'm also trying to budget right now. She ended up paying for her share but called me stingy and said that I was being unfair. OP's the one being unfair? Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for her meal when she was the one who invited me out? How were you meant to know that you had to pay for her? She thought it was obvious that she meant that I should pay because I make more money than she does. That's not obvious. Yeah, like OP said, clear communication would have made all the difference. That's so confusing. Entitlement, isn't it? Like, it's okay if you got to the end of the meal and you said, hey, can I pay for both of us? But she invited you out. You guys aren't together. Why would she expect you to pay? I don't feel like that's obvious at all. It's more expected that she would pay for herself and you'd pay for yourself. Yeah, like this comment says, the person inviting others normally pays or the bill is split. Yeah, like why did you expect OP to pay? Because OP makes more money. Like, yeah, okay, but that doesn't mean that you should expect OP to pay for every meal and stuff. This one's more confusing than anything. Like, why did they assume that? And even more so, why did they assume that you would also assume that? Like, yeah, a little bit of communication would definitely be good, but yeah, she's the a-hole, OP, because she called you stingy and said that you were being unfair. By doing what? I feel like your friend OP is just entitled. I feel like that's the only explanation. Okay, moving on. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my wife after she told her family about our new financial situation? I recently found out that I'll be inheriting some properties and a significant amount of money. I told my wife, but I made it clear that this is only between us and she's not to tell anybody, especially her big mouth sister. I don't want anybody to know about the inheritance. Invest almost all of the money, hire a property management company, and intend to keep our current lifestyle. Last night at dinner with her parents and siblings, out of nowhere, her father congratulated me on my impending windfall, and my brother-in-law pulled me aside to ask about the houses that I'll be receiving. He and his wife, my wife's big mouth sister, have been saving for a house, but they haven't saved enough yet, and their credit scores are low. I was so angry with my wife the entire night, but I kept it in check. On the drive home, I yelled at her. I admit that it wasn't my finest hour, but she did the exact thing that I told her not to do. She argued that my secrecy demand was not right, and that she had the right and duty to tell her family about our financial situation because it's also her financial situation. We argued for hours, so when I finally had enough, I told her that she can't be trusted to keep our secrets and that I'm not telling her anything else about the inheritance from this minute on. I said that in the heat of the moment, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. She tells her sister everything, and whatever her sister knows, everybody knows. I don't want the entire city to know what's going on with our bank account. We're due to meet our attorney and later a financial advisor next week, but I think I'll change the appointment to just me. Just to be clear, she's free to discuss anything with her family. I've only had 2 topics that she's not allowed to talk about: my health and our finances. Am I the a-hole? Oh god, that's so annoying. Yeah, like this comment says, definitely open an account that she can't touch. It's gonna be her duty to help her family next. 1,000,000%. This is the most predictable thing I feel like I've ever read. Oh yeah, it's my duty to tell my family. First of all, no it's not. And guess what? Next they're gonna be asking for money. And yeah, it'll be her duty to help her family. No, this is bad. No, you're definitely not in the wrong here, OP. And didn't you say that it was your inheritance? OP, you've got every single right in the world to want to keep that private. Yeah, like this comment said, she had one rule to follow. Wow. Just wow. Go without her, obviously. There's no reason for you to risk everybody knowing as much as you do. Not the a-hole. Yeah, you had one job. Don't tell anybody. And yeah, her financial situation is changing too. Because what did she say? It's her duty to tell her family about our financial situation because it's also her financial situation. Yeah, okay. I don't want to jump to the conclusion that next should be handing out money to people, but by the sounds of it, this is not her money. And yeah, if you don't want people to know about it, OP, that's completely fair enough. It's definitely not her duty to tell her family. The family members are gonna think they won the lottery. Yeah, you know how we can't afford our house and our credit's bad? I feel like it's your duty to help us out. It's my duty to tell my family. That's such a wild thing to say. It's my duty to tell people something that you specifically told me not to tell anybody about. Keep a secret? Nah. I'll immediately tell my family. Like, hey, can I trust you to do anything that you say? There's a comment that says you should inform her that it's not in fact her financial situation because inheritances are not part of the marital assets. So by keeping them completely separate from her, you make sure that you don't commingle assets and get to keep your inheritance intact in case of divorce. I'd consult with a lawyer to make sure you set it up the right way. Yeah, I don't know how stuff like that works. Wow, that reminds me of that Simpsons episode. What you don't know could fill a warehouse.
I didn't know the rocket sled was an Olympic event.
Well, no offense, lady, but what you don't know could fill a warehouse.
I need to stop talking about stuff that I don't know about because I'm realizing that I don't know much. But yeah, I don't understand the legal side of things like this. So yeah, maybe consult with a lawyer like this comment said. But yeah, I was thinking that too. Is it really your financial situation? Like, we definitely know that it's not your duty to tell everybody. Is it really your financial situation? I guess so. But does she feel like she has say in what happens with the money? Like, everybody is going to be asking you for money now, OP. Yeah, that's a pretty frustrating situation, and I don't feel like you're in the wrong. Like, oh, yay, I can't trust you to do what you're gonna say. Right, okay, so we've got an update here to a post that we read yesterday, I think. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my mother-in-law redecorate our nursery? Yeah, that was in yesterday's episode. And yeah, we've got an update here. To sum up what happened in the post yesterday, OP is 26 female and currently 32 weeks pregnant. OP's mother-in-law has always been a nightmare. She told OP to lose some weight and that it wasn't healthy for me or the baby. She knows that OP used to struggle with anorexia and is in no way an unhealthy weight. The mother-in-law invites herself over to their house. She pops into the house, she wanders into the nursery and she rearranges stuff. She brought a full bag of IKEA stuff and she put it everywhere in there and it didn't even match and she didn't even ask. She showed up at OP's door and looked OP up and down and said, "Really, joggers? Thank God your husband isn't here." She said to OP, "You're really not going to be a good mother at this rate." Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my mother-in-law redecorate our nursery? Felix and I sat down and had a conversation about how to manage his mother going forward. I told him everything that she'd said to me and he was adequately furious with her. He asked me what I wanted done in the future so that she'd understand where our boundaries are and follow them. I told him that I'd rather him speak to her alone at first so that I wasn't immediately made out to be the bad guy. I acted on the advice here and a locksmith has been called to change the locks in the house and Felix has ordered us a Ring doorbell off Amazon with the assurance I will be able to put it in. He hates doing the electric stuff, but you know how it is, I'll leave him to do it. And then he called up mother-in-law and organised a lunch date for today so they could have a talk between themselves. He got back in the afternoon and as he walked into the door, he smiled at me and went, "Sorted," and characteristically went to go and make himself a cup of tea. I got a message a few minutes after from her saying that she was very sorry for what she'd said to me, that she was in the wrong, only gonna visit when invited, not gonna go into the nursery anymore, and was gonna respect the rules and the boundaries that he and I set for our home life and for our child. And after added that she was sorry for the comment she'd made about my appearance. I'll believe it when I see it, but at least it's a good start. And we've all agreed to go for dinner at some point to talk about future future expectations when the baby does come. I talked to Felix and he said that she'd been offended at first, didn't believe that she'd done anything wrong. Yeah, that makes sense. I bet she didn't. And he also specifically said that she hit him with a spiel of, oh, I must be such an awful mother then. And he told me that he'd told her it's not about that, it's about you disrespecting my wife and our child and our home. If you continue, you're not going to even dream of being able to see your grandchild. She was apparently and unsurprisingly sulky, and he told her to apologize. And she said that she would, and to her credit, she did. Thank you for your advice about how to handle things going forward with the locks and everything. The amount of support was crazy, but I can't thank you all enough. I feel so much calmer about the situation. I don't know if she's going to stick to what she said going forward, but at least boundaries have been set, and I know that Felix has my back. On a lighter note to end, I asked if he had anything he wanted to say to the people who'd commented, and he said, can you add that photo of me in Florida? Felix, that's not even slightly relevant. Shame. What do you want for tea? Thank you. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know if you should necessarily get your hopes up. Like, I feel like that sort of behavior doesn't immediately disappear, but also, like you said, OP, you'll believe it when you see it. But yeah, once again, round of applause. We have a partner that is supportive of their partner with their parents. Yes. Woohoo. I was so worried that Felix wasn't going to stand up for you here, OP. I'm so happy that he did. Like, we read so many posts on here that are like, oh, you know, my husband can't really stand up to his own mum. He's really a giant man baby and he can't stand up to his parents. But yeah, I'm so happy that this situation is different. Hell yeah, boundaries. Hell yeah, healthy communication. That's so good to hear, OP. And yeah, good luck in the future. Hopefully it does get better. At least she apologized, I guess. Is her behavior gonna change? Well, maybe. I can't imagine something like that's gonna happen straight away. But yeah, by the sounds of it, it will get better over time, and that's definitely good. Any sort of improvement here would be good. And on that note, everybody, I feel like that's a good place to leave the episode. That was an absolute roller coaster ride of emotions, as it is every single time. And yeah, hope you had a wonderful time today, everybody. Before you leave today, I've got something wholesome to show you. One thing about me is that I love to dilly-dally. Take me to the store and I'll slowly wander down every aisle, just meandering, moseying about, taking my time. I'm a big fan of lollygagging. If I'm not in a rush, I won't rush myself. Like, I know this one is a joke, but it's so true, and I feel like it's important too. Like, yeah, take your time, smell the roses, look at that tree over there, you know? I don't mean to turn something funny into something serious, but life really is about the little things. Like, wow, it's a sunny day today. Wow, that tree is a nice color. I love the feeling of my hoodie when it comes out of the dryer. Do you feel a little bit softer today, Jin? Like, yeah, that's so cute, and it's so true. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. The comment of the day today goes to the anti-burglar. I did not expect a flying cat in the beginning, but it almost made me spit out my coffee. Yeah, how funny was that? I was looking in the screen of the camera and I was like, wait a second, is that Nez jumping like 5 feet into the air? Like, what a little acrobat. As soon as that happened in the episode, I knew that I had to put it at the start of the episode. Like, you guys need to see this immediately. I don't want to risk anybody missing this. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for the support, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!